What's up, everybody? Landon with GolfSouth. I'm here with Rob with Club Champion. We are here in Montgomery, Alabama at their newest facility, and I'm just going to kind of ask Rob some questions about this place. But first, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Rob Gallagher. I am the Southeast Regional Sales Manager. So I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Just lucky to be here and getting to open up this store. So traveled around, my golf career has been a little bit all over the place. Growing up in North Carolina, I was good enough to be able to play collegiately, but bad enough to not be able to do it in the South. So I went up and played in New York City for 4 years, and right after college got to start working at a little mom and pop store doing some custom fitting, and really found that I loved it, and have been in the industry ever since. From there, started working for a manufacturer. Was a smaller company, right? We made putters and wedges, and opened the account up with Club Champion, and that was back in, I want to say, like 2013, 2014. And Club Champion at that time had 8 locations, and we had just enough resources to be able to fill all their locations. Then they added a 9th, and as a small organization, it was like, oh man, how do we scramble to create that 9th? And then I had the opportunity to come on board with Club Champion when they had their 14th store open. Worked in Austin, Texas for a little while, and then had the opportunity to open up the Charlotte location. And so moved back to North Carolina, and that was the 18th store in the company. That was a little over 7 years ago. And have been able to work my way up in the organization as we've continued to grow. And so now, 7 years later from when I started, we've got 125 locations nationwide. We're in Canada, we're in England, we're in Australia, and I'm missing one. I only handle the Southeast though, so international I'm fine with. Okay.
So, what makes Club Champion different than any other local golf stores you walk into, or big chain stores?
Yeah, I mean, we don't sell shirts. Honestly, our fitters go through a ton of different training, and the way that Club Champion started, it was started as a company called EJL. That was the initials of the original founder, and Nick Sherburne worked for him for a little while and wanted to kind of make it a little bit bigger. When Nick was young, he was working, he'll tell this story all the time, he was working out at the range at, Cog Hill up in Chicago. And he's working out at the range, and he sees these tour players and these big trucks roll in, and he's asking the pro, like, hey, what is that? And the pro's like, oh, that's where they get all their clubs tweaked. And he was like, well, I want to do that. And he was like, no, that you can't. That's not what they do. And he said, well, why can't we do something like that? And he goes, regular players don't need that. Couldn't have been further from the truth, and Nick wasn't going to let that go. So when Nick had his opportunity, he said, you know what? I'm going to make something that's accessible for the everyday person, that is that tour level experience. And so at Club Champion, when you come in to get fit, we're working with the best technology. We're working with the best equipment. But the biggest difference, I would say, is we're not limited to those manufacturer fitting carts, right? We've got 65,000 different variations of a club that can get put together. And at the end of the day, if Aventus Red is something that TaylorMade offers but Callaway doesn't, we can build it. It doesn't matter, right? So we're going to be able to kind of look and tweak and do anything that a player is going to need in their golf bag.
So, normal person walks in, wants to get fitted. How long does it take to fit a bag for someone?
Full bag, you're probably looking 3.5 hours. We're going to be able to go through literally anything and everything that a player is going to need, all the way down to being able to give a great ball recommendation, right? We've got TrackMan that we're using as far as the full shots that are going on here. TrackMan, if you're watching TV and you're seeing the red line or green line on the TV,
that's
TrackMan. And so we use it in here. And then on the putting green, we use Sam Putt Lab. So Sam Putt Lab stands for Science in Motion Sports, but basically what it is, it's a sonar-based device. Little device attaches to your putter. You hit some putts. We're going to be able to see exactly what your putting stroke is. And based on your stroke, we're going to be able to give you the best recommendation of a putter that's going to match that stroke, rather than saying, oh, here's your stroke, let's start altering things, whatever it may be. I just want to see you putt better.
Yep. So average Joe walks in, never played golf before. Where do you start?
You know, look, I think there's always different things to be able to see. And when we have that average player come in, I tell people all the time, this is a little segue to the question, but it's fun to work with tour players, but I really love working with higher handicap players, because if I get a tour player to hit it 2 or 3 yards further, or
there's
a little
really
bit
nothing
tighter,
much they can improve with.
100%, right?
With the average player, that's a 38 handicap.
It's 30,
they
40
like
yards.
to see the improvements,
100%.
and they'll be able to see them in here, on the screen, in person. So,
absolutely. And that's the fun part. I mean, I had one gentleman come in one time. He's like, if we can't improve today, I'm selling the clubs, I'm never playing again, right? He went from a 120 carry because he couldn't get the ball up in the air, to we ended up carrying it 210 by the time he left, because we finally got some launch out of the driver, right? Results may vary, but you know, it depends on the player and what you're going to end up seeing.
Well, and I also coach a local golf team, and some of the kids that are new, they show up with kind of hand-me-down stuff, and you know, I see some boys show up with women clubs and mixed bags and stuff like that, and they wonder why they can hit their 9-iron just as far as their 6-iron.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even the same club.
Yep.
So I try to tell them, hey, you know, go down, get fitted somewhere. You know, they can show you what you need. And so now that we have a club champion in Montgomery, I can just refer them straight down here and come see Andrew or Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, one of the interesting things that I've seen throughout the course of time working at Club Champion is that people come in, or ladies come in, oh, where are your ladies' clubs? All of them, right? Because the golf club doesn't know if you're male or female. All it knows is how much speed are you putting into it, what's the load pattern, all of those different things, and how much, you know, pop are we giving that golf ball?
Glad
right?
you say
Doesn't
that, because
care.
all the lady tour players are playing about what half the men are out there.
100%.
They don't
100%.
have ladies clubs. They're swinging stiff flex, some stiff flex
Yeah.
shafts.
It becomes a lot of marketing, and then, you know, realistically, a lot of these different brands, even with some older gentlemen, right, it becomes sometimes a little bit of a pride thing. I don't want to hit senior flex. I don't want to do this, that, or the other. You know, there's a lot of shafts out here that the flexes are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rather than ladies senior regular stiff X, right? So
Look at Hazardous. You can't ever tell. They got 6.5 and 6.0. And
yeah, it's just, you know, that's where somebody with our expertise has to be able to come in and translate that into.
Because some people don't know. They have those shafts and don't know what they mean.
Correct. And, you know, at the end of the day, golf equipment, yeah, it's an investment, right? There's money that has to go into it. But what I have seen way too often in a lot of markets, especially newer markets, is people have spent way more money than they should have by trying to purchase it online and trying
the new stuff.
Yeah, or trying to be their own fitter, and then they realize it didn't work, and then they can't sell it for what they paid for it, or whatever it may be. Just come in and get it done the right way, and don't worry about it.
Well, I can tell you this. Rob just put me through a fitting, and I thought I had good clubs, and it took not even an hour, really, about 45 minutes, and he had me in a perfect setup that I thought, for one, never heard of the shaft before, but I love the shaft. Didn't think I'd be swinging Strixons, but love the head, and it's probably going to be my next setup. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And if you've never been professionally fitted, highly recommend coming down here and just try it. Because I promise once you start seeing numbers, it will blow your mind.
Yep.
And, you know, with the fitters they got down here, they're going to put you in what you need. So they'll look at the numbers and start throwing shafts in and changing heads. And it may not be what you want, but if you want to get better and start swinging better and seeing a difference in your golf game, it's probably going to be what you have to have. So, and these guys down here at Club Champion in Montgomery can do that for you. So, y'all have a website?
Clubchampion.com, and I believe right now until the end of this month, here in Montgomery, there is a code on Montgomery's page. If you book your fitting, come in. If you purchase a single club, your fitting is free. Okay, so huge opportunity.
And how much does a
to be able to
fitting
help.
usually run?
Typically, a full bag fitting is right around $400 for that 3.5 hours. Iron fitting, $175. Driver fitting, $175. Just kind of depends on what you're looking for. So same code works for every single fit. If you know, hey, I just want irons right now, you could save $175 when you come in and make a purchase.
There you go. Easy as that.
Yep.
Well, Rob, I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
And if you ever need anything, holler.
Sounds good, my man. Thank you.
Thank you.